We survived the second day of Tony Robbins UPW, Unleash the Power Within event. So I'm going to talk about what happened during the second day of the event. And always remember, FU, I am a unicorn. Motivated, dedicated. I've got my magic juice, so I'm ready for the day. My cup of coffee. I've got my strange blue juice. So when I finish recording the videos, I'm going to work out. And that's a little bit about what Tony's talking about in this day two too. So it's the 14th of March 2025 when I attended this day two. It started at 14:05, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then it actually sort of stopped 5 hours later with the content, and then it was like a commercial for the next 5 hours. There were a few snippets of value, but that was like how the second day was like. So here they spent like 5 hours trying to make you buy business mastery and platinum partners. So the main topic of the beginning here was creating momentum, closing the gap. That's the headline of the second day. We have the presenter for the first part is a guy called Joseph McClinton III. So he was like running on the beach and he was like, "Ooh, I'm awesome, I'm awesome, I'm awesome, I'm awesome, I'm awesome." So I like Joseph. Joseph is pretty cool. Tony has a audio program called Mastering Influence that I like. You get it for free if you pay $10,000 for the business mastery, right? Anyways, I like that audio program. It's sort of similar to what Jordan Belfort, the Wolf on Wall Street, is saying, right? So I think either Tony got inspired by Jordan Belfort or Jordan Belfort got inspired by Tony in making that thing. Then we decide what comes first, the dog or Johnny, right? Johnny bit the dog, dog bit Johnny. Jordan Belfort, Tony Robbins. Anyway, so what he talks about here after that in the introduction is the neuro-associative conditioning. So a lot of us have heard about something called NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. That's where you program the brain and so Tony attended one of these seminars, like things, long time ago. It was like a 6-month program. Then after 6 months, then you would get like, had to do some practical thing and then you would get certified, blah, blah, blah. But then after 4 days, then Tony was like, "Oh, I learned this, let's go out and use it." And they say, "Tony, you can't do that. You need to like follow these things." And he was like, no, I'm just going to do that. And then Tony left the event and he was out like looking for someone to help and change using this programming thing. And then he tells some stories about that. I like some cool stories. So anyways, that it's like pretty cool and awesome, and like a guy with cigarettes, and he's like putting cigarettes in his mouth until he's like, "No," and then he stops smoking. Anyway, so what they talk about with the neuro-associative conditioning is the first step is that you need to know your outcome, because like clarity is power. It's kind of like with Google Maps. It's like we need to know where we're going. If we don't know where we're going, then any roads will take us there. So like clarity on what we want this life is like important. So that's the first step, is like making it clear what outcome do we actually want. Then the second step is like know your reasons why, right? Why is a must, right? Because it doesn't matter that we have a map and we want to go here if we don't know why we would go there, right? Because then we don't start to walk towards it, right? So we need to know, is it because there's ice cream there? Okay, then I might start walking. So we need to know the reasons, the why. Why are we doing this? So why is a must. So when we have the outcome, we know where we're going, we know why we're going to get the ice cream, then we need to take massive action, take the car, take the stuff, right? Find the money to buy the ice cream, right? And then number 4 is like know what results you're getting, right? So maybe you didn't have the money, so you took massive action. You went down to the supermarket, you wanted to buy ice cream, but you couldn't because you didn't have any money, right? So then you look at the results and you're like, oh, I didn't get ice cream. Maybe I need to get some more money. Maybe I want to get into real estate investing, but I couldn't buy a property, right? Then you take new action, right? So you change your approach, and then that is the way of doing things. So it's actually a pretty awesome model. And then he talks about that came from Jim Rohn. So Jim Rohn say how comes second, why comes first. So if we have a big enough why, then we'll figure out the how. So he says like everyone has tried to like we started to focus on something and like got obsessed with something, and then all of a sudden stuff happened. Even if we didn't have a plan, we were not going through the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, then like we did it unconsciously. And it can be like for good and for bad, right? So if we focus on bad things, then we get more bad stuff happening to us. Focus on good things, then more good things happen to us. Next thing in day 2, he talks about the power of belief, right? So a belief is a feeling of certainty about what something means. It doesn't mean belief doesn't need to be true, right? So we can we have beliefs around Putin, around Donald Trump, about Elon Musk, about the environment, about vegans, about sex, what kind of sex we have. What kind, are we man, woman? Are there many different other kinds? We have a lot of different beliefs, right? It doesn't mean that it's true, but the thing with a belief is that we are certain that this is true, and then sometimes we have all like experienced in life that like we were very certain about something, and then one day we wake up and we realize, oh, maybe I was wrong. But beliefs are good for like creating change, right? Because like it can help create some pain, and we will always do more to avoid pain than we will ever do to gain pleasure. So with beliefs, then we need to create a belief that something must change now, and the keys are must and now. So something that pisses us off needs to change right now. So often when we don't do this on purpose, then something happens to us that makes us think this must change now, right? So it might be that we are close to death, we get into an accident, someone gets sick, we lose our job. A lot of like examples, right, in life that happens to us, right? And then we have to change. But the thing is, like, if we change our beliefs in our head that something must change, then we can change it. So that is like the first step in his model for lasting success. So when we've decided that it must change, then the second part is realizing that for it to change, then I must change now. So if we do the same things, then we get the same results. So that means first we decide something needs to change, and then I need to change myself. And then I admit that, okay, so now I believe that I have to change in order to do this, right? So if I do the same thing, then I get the same results. Same like when I was working as a logistics manager. So if I stayed there, then it was hard for me to work for Maersk. So Maersk is a big shipping company, and at some point I wanted to, my dream was always to try to work for AP Møller Maersk. And then I thought, okay, so how do I do that, right? So I quit working as a manager, and then I sat on the school, and then I started studying marine engineering, and then I got to work for Maersk, right? So I decided that it had to change now, right? Because I wanted to go out sailing or working for Maersk, and that meant like I had to change my life, and then I changed it now. So like the thing is that the past does not equal the future. So Tony talks about that. And then he says the 3 steps to lasting change is first we need to create leverage. If you can't, you must. Right? So if we think like we can't do it, it's not good enough, we must do it. And then we need to interrupt our old pattern, and we need to create an empowering alternative. So that is the model he has for lasting change. Create leverage, interrupt whatever you're doing that is giving you the wrong results in your head, physically, whatever it is. I'm going to work out after this video, so I'm working out more or less every day, and I've been doing that for many years with like a few hiccups here and there. But that is my pattern that I like. Waking up in the morning, working a little bit, and then I go work out. So that is like a pattern I have, where in the past I had a different pattern, but then you break the pattern and then you do it and you create some leverage around it. Anyways, I'm not going to talk a lot more about that here. The next part of the second day is that he talks about the driving force, signs of momentum, where he has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then goes in a circle. Says the first step to create your driving force for momentum is you need to get into a peak state. So you're like very excited to go to this concert, or you're very excited to whatever, buying your first property, but you need to get into like in a good mood and like up like excited, instead of being, I'm going to go into real estate, it's going to be very cool to buy I'm going into real estate, I'm going to buy the first property. There's a difference with that. So first we need to get into the mindset, be excited about what we are doing. And to be excited and like get into the state, we need to find something we're actually passionate about, something we value, so we actually like can create the drive. And it can be something positive, it can be something negative. So a lot of people are very passionate about things that doesn't necessarily help them, but that is your decision, I guess. So when you've like put yourself into state, you found something you're passionate about, then you decide to do it, you commit to do it, and then you resolve the thing. And you do that by like creating a plan and taking massive action. Then the fifth step is like SMART. So that means strategy, measure, assess, reinforce, take new action, right? So you create a strategy, then you measure your results, assess what results you're getting. Like you're going down to get the ice cream and you have no money. You are too slow getting the ice cream, so when you're home it's melted. Then you reinforce the good things and take action on the bad things. And then he has some exercises where you need to write down what do you hate, what do you love, what you're passionate about, what do you want. And then he's making you do like, think about 2 decisions you made in the past, what made you do them, and then make 2 decisions in for the future. So like where these are like tough decisions, and what made you change. Same thing with like when I quit my job and went like full time into real estate. So what made me do that was because like my passion was like spending the time with my wife instead of working and being away from her, right? So I quit my job, and then I had more time to spend with her. So that made me change back then. So that's just an example. Then he talks about the wheel of life, and you need to draw your wheel of life. So it's like the wheel of life has like, so we have like how our physical body is, how our emotions are, how our relations are, how we're spending our time, how our finances are, how we contribute. And then you have a scale from 1 to 10, and then you say like, I'm like this in body, I'm like this in emotion, I'm like this, and then you draw a wheel, and your wheel are screwed up. It's like, ooh, there's not balance between the things in our lives. And then you find some of them, like one of them, and then you try to fix. So the wheel is F up, and you try to fix this hole, this gap with one of them. So then you have an exercise with like closing the gap. So you're like, right now I'm a 4, I want to be a 7, and how do I do that within like the next year's time? Then he has a very short exercise with like matching and mirroring. It's a good good exercise, and he talks a little bit about rapport. I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Anyways, then it starts with the commercial 5 hour more or less break. And so the first thing is he makes like the commercial for wealth mastery, and they say like dollars, you can get that from business or job, and then people were in the comments saying, I can get money from dividends from rental properties. Now I do own rental properties, and then rental properties is a business or is a job, right? Depending on how you look at it. But then they have an example with Joe and Bob. So Joe and Bob invest and get like 10% return on their investment. It's about compounding. They invest $300 per month. Joe, he starts when he's 19. When he's 27, then he stops. Bob starts when he's 27. When Joe is tired of this, and then Bob stops investing at 65. So total, then Joe has invested 28,800, and Bob has invested 140,000. And then when they're 65, then Joe has 1.8 million and Bob has 1.6 million. And then it's like, whoa, Joe is doing better than Bob. And then it's like, ooh, I should be like Joe. But the thing is that if you look at like the successful people, right, like Warren Buffett, so Warren Buffett owns through Hathaway like 60 companies, so he owns companies. And when he started, he was buying like getting the last puff of the cigar, they call that, of the companies. So he had a niche. So Warren Buffett did do the compounding, but he didn't just randomly invest in stocks. I don't really agree with this kind of model. But that was like a commercial for the Tony Robbins Wealth Mastery. And then there's a story with Siri. So Siri is a girl who was 19 years old. She didn't know what she wanted in her life. She couldn't swim, she couldn't run, she couldn't bike. But then she bought Tony Robbins' books, Unlimited Power, and then 4 years later she became the world champion in triathlon. Boom. And she has done like 28 UPWs, many business masteries, many that. And then she became like the best in the world, and she has like her inspiring story. And she says like, so she failed, she learned, she growed, fail, learn, grow, fail, learn, grow, focus. Immerse yourself in it. Like in races, she came last. I've been in an Olympic I wanted to do Olympic distance triathlon, and I actually managed to come last too. But it was still a victory just to go through that. And then it's a good story. I'm maybe making it look worse than it is. But then she says like, then she wanted to get into business and she didn't have the money, but then she did business mastery, and then she got 380% more money in the first year. It was like going well. And then she got cancer. So before that, she wanted to save horses, and that's why like she wanted to start the business. And then she was like saving the horses from getting eaten, and then she got the business mastery, but then she got cancer, and then she survived the cancer. It's a very inspiring story. I'm sorry if I make it worse, but like the subliminal message is that you should buy business mastery, and you if you want to be the world champion, you just buy Unlimited Power. And then Todd Hartley, who was the owner of something called Viabus, comes on, and he said like, so he had problems in his business. He was like an operator. He wanted to be a business owner. Then he bought the business mastery, and then his business grew 200%. So like an interesting story. I just made it very short because it is more or less a testimonial. What Siri is doing is a testimonial too, that like she did the Tony stuff, and then Todd did all the Tony stuff. And then after this, then there's like a prize where you can get a discount on the business mastery. So it's only like, I don't know if it's 9,995 or 997. I think it's 5. So like around $10,000, then you can get the business mastery. So at that point, I'm getting a little bit glass-eyed, which I do every time I'm at this event, and they start for doing the commercials for like 5 hours where they're hiding it a little bit. So they have the speakers coming on, and the speakers like, whoa, woo, this and this happened, and I did this Tony event, I did this Tony event, I did this Tony event, I did this. But it's pretty good, like yeah, brainwashing. Anyways, then they start talking about the peer group. So you become who you surround yourself with. That's like, it's a very good idea. Maybe you should become a platinum partner and give Tony $85,000. Yes. And he says that proximity is power. And I think that is true. So he says that you become like the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. So if you want to become better within something, it's the same thing. If you want to be healthy, it's good to surround yourself with healthy people. So some people will do that through coaching or mentoring. So yeah, if you want to be healthy, then get a coach or like get a friend or surround yourself with something that's better than that. If you want to be the world's best in triathlon, you need to train and work with people who are the best in order to become the best. If you want to be the best in real estate investing or like lift your level, then surround yourself with people who are at the level you kind of want to be at. So I think like the proximity is very important. I do agree. I just and of course Tony needs to sell his products, so I don't mind it. It just like becomes like a little bit much after 5 hours, even though there are like some snippets of good stuff inside. Anyways, that was day number 2 of the UPW 2025. Like what happened on day number 2. So. It starts in a few hours with day number 3, and then we'll see tomorrow if I make a video with what happened and what happened during this day number 3. So subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, give the video a dislike, write what you think in the comments. You also write, I'm not thinking anything, my head is empty. Thanks for watching, have a wonderful day.